Hey guys, I'm Deepthi Desikan, and in this video we're going to be testing out some new launches in affordable makeup and some high-end makeup that are pretty much new to my collection. I don't want to just keep doing just one category of makeup products, just affordable, just high-end. So I want to just like mix it up. I think majority of it is affordable and some high-end products that were like really intriguing, some new launches and all of that. Anyways, so I don't really have any new eyebrow products. I haven't picked up an eyebrow product in a really long time. So if you guys have some recommendations for me, I have like pretty thick eyebrows, as you guys can see. So if you have any recommendations for me for a good eyebrow product, I would love that. Right now, what I have on my eyebrows is what I used in my previous video. This one is the Insight Makeup Essentials Smudge Free Eyebrow Pencil. So I like this. I find it to be quite precise for my eyebrow hair, and it also matches my eyebrow hair pretty well. I keep this in my makeup pouch, which I carry with me everywhere I go. It has my essentials and it's something that I've been reaching out for every day. Anyways, too much information, so let's get started with the video. The first one we have is a new primer. This one is the e.l.f. Power Grip Primer, but this has 4% niacinamide in it. I think it's pretty much similar to the other e.l.f. Power Grip Primer which I have right here. So I just thought I'll do like a side-by-side comparison. So I think it is a little bit similar to that. I think that both of these are pretty similar, the e.l.f. Power Grip and this one. But there should be something a little bit different, I hope, because just for 4% niacinamide, I can't believe I paid a little bit extra for that. Because this is not affordable. None of the e.l.f. products are affordable, but just because I saw this primer, I picked it up. It has that same glow, I feel like the other primer. So applying this on this side just to compare, so that I can let you guys know if you have to pick this up or no. Okay, right off the bat, I feel like this one is a little bit more rigid to blend, and this was just like really easy. As you guys can see, my fingers are just like moving and gliding easily. This was a little bit like harder, but both of them have a slight amount of tackiness to it. I feel like these kind of primers, you know, that tacky, sticky, silicone based primers, some of your products, like your base products, like your foundation, might like hinder with it. Like it might not gel pretty well, but so far everything that I've tried out with this particular primer, all of my makeup products, my foundation has blended out really well. There's not one foundation that has like skipped or become patchy on this. So if I do notice anything, then I'll like, you know, go through the ingredients and see which one is clashing with it. But so far, I really like this primer. I feel like both of them have a really nice glow. It looks really nice on the skin. And then for concealer, I actually picked up a couple of different concealers. I have the Nars Soft Matte Complete Cover Concealer. I have the Urban Decay Stay Naked Quickie Concealer. And I also have the Too Faced Born This Way Ethereal Light Concealer. So I'm not sure which one I want to try out, but I have already tried out the Urban Decay one. It is sort of similar to the Tarte Shape Tape, I feel like, but not as drying. It's like a full coverage concealer, a little bit more creamy. But I haven't really tried out the Too Faced in this one, and I am dying to try out the Nars Soft Matte Complete Cover Concealer. But before that, but before that, I have to try out the e.l.f. Camo Color Corrector, which is also a new launch on Nykaa. This one is priced at rupees 590. I also picked up the blue one, but this is in the variant Peach. I just wanted to see if, you know, there are any other peach collectors that I would really like, because this was quite viral, quite popular. A lot of people did rave about this particular product. So I'm going to be using it just on one side, so that I'm not like skeptical about the concealer, and I'm not doubtful if that is performing well or not, because sometimes some color correctors are a little bit too, what do I say, drying for my under eye area. It did neutralize the darkness pretty well. Like you guys can see the difference between this side and this side. But my dark circles have been pretty intense of late, of course, because of the lack of sleep, stress and all of that. So I think I would need a little bit more pigmented color corrector, or maybe a little bit more product itself. I always find that orange color correctors are too orange for me. Sometimes peach color correctors are a little bit too light, you know. It has to be somewhere in between. That looks so much better. It pretty much like, you know, sort of brightened my under eye area up, as well as concealed all of that darkness without it looking too much. The formula is really nice and blendable. It's really thin, and it's not something that's too thick, so it's not clinging onto the under eye area. It's not making it look very dry and clumpy, but it's also giving you like very nice coverage. I would absolutely love it. I like the formula of it. I was somehow expecting it to be like the e.l.f. Camo concealers, where it was really dry and thick, but this one is really nice, thin and spreadable. Now for foundation, I don't really have a very popular foundation. I have an affordable foundation, but I'm not sure how this one performs, so let's try it out. This one is the Foundation, high coverage, prepared specially for Indian skin types. all of that is good, but why are you not coming up with more shades? You know, this one is in the shade 06. I think this is the last shade from this particular brand, which is kind of disappointing, but okay, that's a pretty good shade match. Remember how I told some foundations are not compatible with this primer? I feel like this foundation is certainly not compatible with this kind of a primer. I feel like it's a little bit harder to blend, and for some reason I'm having more coverage on this side. Like, it's not spreading evenly. It is a little bit like tugging and pulling on my skin. But the finish of this foundation, this is no filter or anything, you guys. I'm filming it in 4K and I just want you to see how my skin looks. Wow. Unbelievable. See, this is why I want Mars and Swiss Beauty and all of them. They make really good products, but to come up with really good shade range so that people of all skin tones can actually try it out, because you know, a lot of people on a budget would appreciate foundations like this. It looks so good on the skin. It was a little bit harder to blend on the e.l.f. primers, so that's something to note. I'm not sure what made it that way. I'm not great with ingredients, but something with this foundation and that one was clashing, but it's not splitting or anything, so that's a good thing. And oh my god, I love this foundation. What? Okay, now moving on to concealer. Excited to try this Nars Soft Matte Complete Concealer, and this one is in the shade Sucre d'Or. So even Sucre d'Or or leave it right here on the screen. So even in the Nars Radiant Creamy Concealer, I figured that this was my perfect shade match, because when I bought that, there were not a lot of people who were using that particular shade. So I had to just go by their shade description. I had to wing it with that particular concealer, and that turned out to be like my skin tone in a bottle. It is something I could use for my no makeup days, and it was really good. So that's the reason I got that same shade in this particular concealer as well. Like, even if I have to spot conceal or anything, I want it to work. You know, I have so many makeup brushes, but everything is messy all the time. So I'm taking this PAC 007 brush. I know I should have taken a smaller brush, but people rave about this concealer and I want to see if it's worth it. Yeah. Oh my god. This brush actually is for, you know, concealers that have pretty thick consistency and are more of a fuller coverage, but even this brush is giving me like medium coverage with this concealer, so sort of medium high coverage, so that's good. Coming to how it looks underneath my eyes, I feel like it is sort of a little bit drying, and this is the side I don't even have the color corrector on, so I feel like it's kind of a little bit matte and it's sort of caking up and piling up towards the inner corners of my eye. So taking like a more smaller defined brush, this one is the Rare Beauty concealer brush. Oh yeah, that gives really good coverage, man. And it's like very easy to blend and all of that. And it has like pretty good pigmentation to it. If you like prep your under eyes pretty well, and if you have like combination, normal, oily skin, you would love this concealer. I can see why a lot of people love this, and I feel like I like this one a little bit more than the Radiant Creamy Concealer, because the Radiant Creamy Concealer is really nice. It's a nice creamy concealer. It's very blendable, but the coverage of that one is pretty much like light medium. You can't even build on it too much, but this one is really good coverage. For powder, I also have the Nars Soft Matte Advanced Setting Powder. So this I've seen a lot of people love. It's supposed to be like a beautiful blurring powder, and the shade I wanted was out of stock. I think Cove was the shade I was trying to pick up, but that was out of stock. So I got the shade Bay, which seemed a little bit more yellow toned, but yeah, this is what the powder looks like. It is a tad bit too yellow for my skin tone. So first I'll try this with a powder puff, and I'm not a powder puff person. I've realized I like it more or so with like a, you know, brush, or maybe I'm just a noob, like I have not figured out how to use this, but yeah, it's smoothing, it's beautiful, it's blurring. Can you see the difference? So what in the magic is this? amazing, and irrespective of your skin type, I think, I mean, it's not too drying. It doesn't make the under eye area look too dry. It's not like adding on to the dryness. There is a little bit of dryness from the concealer itself, but it's not like exaggerating, emphasizing anything, and just beautiful. I feel like it's like such a soft packaging, soft matte packaging, and the product feels really delicate. I feel like it's also pressed very softly, so be very careful, very gentle. You might shatter it out. For blush, I have these Typsy Beauty Silk Cushion Blush, and this one is in the shade Strawberry Champagne. Nice packaging, by the way. This is from an Indian brand, and this packaging is very similar to the Charlotte Tilbury Beauty ones, and that's the reason I want to try this out. This is not affordable. This is for 1,200 rupees, and even with discount it was not like very affordable. So what you do is twist it, very similar to the Charlotte Tilbury one, and use it. So this is not like a matte blush. I picked it up so that it would be similar to the Charlotte Tilbury wand, so I wanted to try it out. You know, I have the shade pink Cassim, I think. Blending it out with this Rare Beauty blush brush. It's more pigmented than the Charlotte Tilbury blush ones, and it has a beautiful sheen but not shimmery looking on the skin, at least under this lighting. There are tiny shimmer flexes. I mean, like, it's not very prominent. I don't think your naked eye would just catch it just like that, like when you're turning around. Maybe under certain lighting, maybe natural light, it would be a little bit prominent. And I feel like you have to work with this really fast. Like, if you apply it, blend the other side, and then come back, it is a little bit harder to blend this. And another product for blush that I have, I know I'm trying out too many products at once, but I picked up this Renee PH Madness blush as well. So should I try it in this video or should I just skip it? Too bad, I'm going to be trying it out. So this is how it looks like. It's like a black blush, but once you apply it, it's quite pigmented. The reason I got this PH blush is I wanted to see if it's similar to the Huda Beauty Pretty Grunge blush. But this is a little bit more pigmented, and I feel like it's not as dewy as the Huda Beauty one, but I'll give it some time and I will see. One thing I noticed is that once you set it with the powder, you know, like, yeah, I did get it a little too low, but all of these products are a little bit harder to blend. It could be the primers, but I have used the e.l.f. Power Grip primer for the longest time, and I've never found it to be a little bit hard to blend any of the products. But I feel like this side, especially where I have the niacinamide primer, I'm finding it a little bit like it's tugging and getting a little patchy. We have the Typsy contour wand, and this one is in the shade Maple Syrup. I also have the e.l.f. Luminous Putty Bronzer. So one on this side, one on this side. We'll just see what is working out for us. Because of course I'm a makeup YouTuber. I will test out every single product on my face, make myself look like a clown, put my skin through everything. Of course, that's what we do. So the e.l.f. Luminous Putty Primer, I have this in the shade Sun Chaser. Okay, it looks luminous in the pan. Taking this mask brush, you get it as part of the set. I thought it'll be like too dark for my skin, which I'm happy it's not. And I feel like even if you're a couple of shades deeper than my skin tone, this would work out for you, which is great. I don't want like a very stark bronzer. This is certainly not a contouring product. It's something that you can add a little bit of warmth to your skin with, but not something that you can contour with ideally. With the bronzer, you can't really see a lot of shimmer particles in it, so it is actually blending out really well. How the bronzer looks like, I feel like it's a really good shade, and the formulation is pretty good. It's like blending out really well. It's not super pigmented, also not very creamy but not very rigid, so it's a blendable formulation. Now this side, taking the Typsy Beauty wand in the shade Maple Syrup, also has the similar packaging like the Charlotte Tilbury contour wand, which I'm actually not the biggest fan of in the first place, because I feel like the sponge actually soaks up and holds on to a lot of product, and in that process you tend to waste a lot of product, especially with the Charlotte Tilbury one. I find it to be really expensive to be doing that, and it's a lot darker than my contour wand, because I think I have that in the shade Light. Wow. And this one would definitely work out for people of medium tan and deeper skin tones. The contour wand super blendable, really nice and pigmented, very easy to apply, very easy to get a really nice blend out of, so you don't really have to worry even if you're not like very well versed with makeup. Now I don't really have a highlighter, so I'm just gonna apply this Huda Beauty Pretty Grunge blush gloss on top because it's said to be a blush gloss. It's very like hard pressed and there's not a lot of pigment that comes. So for setting spray, I'm going to be using my Urban Decay All Nighter Makeup Fixing Spray. I got the travel variant of this one. This one is something that I already own. Like I got it during the Nykaa Pink sale and Pink Love sale. And yeah, I like it. I like how it makes my makeup look. It kind of like adds a little bit of like glow to my face, I want to say. Blends, like takes off all of that powderiness and also sets my makeup. I don't really have any eyeshadow to try out, but I have a new mascara. This one is the Huda Beauty One Coat Wow mascara. So I have tried this out a couple of times. I feel like if you have like their duo mascara in one tube, you know, the lengthening and the volumizing side, this is how it would look. It can be a little bit clumpy and messy for a lot of people. Like I feel like it's a little bit on the wet side, but it gives you really good length and volume. Like I don't really have naturally beautiful lashes, okay, so for me it adds a really good length and volume. So if in case you're someone with already like little lengthy lashes, this would make it look like you have false lashes on. That's how beautiful this would look. It would give you that effect. So it's a really nice mascara. It's not waterproof, so just keep that in mind. I think I need to buy that lash separator and just like kind of run it through. You can of course curl your lashes before you use any mascara. I don't really do all of that, so excuse me, okay. Somehow reminds me a little bit of like the Swiss Beauty mascara that I tried out in the previous video, and also the Mars Fabulash mascara, somewhat like that, you know. So there's another product that I skipped. This one is a Nars Laguna bronzer. I got the mini variant because on Shoppers Stop, like if you could buy for a certain amount, you get a bigger discount. So anyways, I wanted to try it out, so I picked it up. This is enough for me for a lifetime because I have a lot of bronzers. And it is actually showing up on my skin as well. This brush is too fluffy for my slender face. I like the undertone. It's not too warm, not too cool. I think it's a really nice like sort of contour cum bronzer. And no wonder a lot of people like it. You know, some brands are like that. Like, you know, there are very few misses with certain brands, and I feel like Nars is one of that. There is sometimes like there would be misses, but mostly like their base products and all always turn out to be like super hit. And for lips, I have this L'Oreal liquid lipstick in the shade Lazy Sunday. I've already tried this out. I've already reviewed this, swatched these shades in my previous video, but a lot of you guys seem to have missed it and asked me to try it out again. So that's what I'm doing. It's a beautiful shade, would work really well for people with Indian skin tones, deeper skin tones. It's so flattering. It's like a deep terracotta, dusty burgundy shade. It looks really nice. It's not something that washes you out, doesn't pull you down. I just feel like you don't have to layer this one on too much, then it gets a little bit sticky and uncomfortable on the lips, but it is quite long wearing and it's not the most drying liquid lipstick I've tried out. So it's way better than the Maybelline Super Stay Matting. So it's a very nice long wearing pigmented liquid lipstick. You can try it out. It's not something that's like extremely lightweight. You do feel like you have a little bit of product on. It does feel a little heavy and waxy, but nothing that's too uncomfortable. And can be a little bit sticky, especially if you're layering it out too much. So yeah, so that sticky waxy feeling is what adheres onto your lips and gives you that long wear. But it's like the shades are really beautiful. The formulation is pretty good as well, so you can definitely try it out. So yeah, everything I tried out on my face, I stick by my review. It looks beautiful. The foundation, the primer is really nice. It's very similar to the Power Grip primer without the niacinamide, so you can pick and choose any one. You don't really have to buy both of it. I don't know what I was expecting that I picked up the other one, which is exactly similar to this, because I already love this. I've been using it and I do have quite a few primers, so I don't really want to keep hoarding more primers, but I did end up buying it. So both of them very similar. You don't really have to pick this up if you have this, but if you like wanted that niacinamide in your primer, you can try this out, which I'm not sure how effective it is, and I feel like the performance of both of this is very similar. And then the foundation, I absolutely love the finish of this foundation. I'm really requesting, if the brand is watching, because I know I do receive PR from them, I hope that if they're watching this video, you expand the shade range, because it is amazing, the foundation. The finish of this is like some high-end foundation. I have their other foundation as well, some Blossom something foundation in the past, and even that had really good finish. You can compare it like to the Charlotte Tilbury Flawless finish foundation. So it's very similar to that. And I couldn't mention that in any video because we don't really get shades in that particular foundation. And same goes with this. If this has a shade expansion, this would sell like crazy because of the finish it has on the skin. It's just really good coverage. It has a good thick consistency, but you know, you get medium high coverage, looks like skin, and it just has that beautiful satin sheen on the skin, and amazing. It's not clinging onto any dryness, any texture, not emphasizing anything, and it's not even oxidizing. It's looking so good, you guys. Like, I'm so bummed that you don't really get a lot of shades. The color corrector, a win. I don't feel like it's making my under eye area look a lot more dry. It also did a really good amount of color correction, I feel like, and added a little bit of brightness, even though I used a little bit of a darker concealer. The concealer, on the other hand, has really good coverage, but I feel like it's a little bit drying for my under eye area. Maybe I am, like, my skin is a little bit too dry, but I feel like it's a little bit like matte and drying. But if you prep your under eye area pretty well, and also if you have like combination oily skin, I think it will be a really nice concealer. And also the powder, oh my god, the finish is amazing. It is unbelievable. It's almost like blurring on the skin. It looks so good. It like kind of blurred out the texture and everything. So I really like this powder as well. It's so good, but it is pricey. If you have the money to spend on it, you can try it out. So then coming to these wands, I like it. Like, I like the blush. I do wish that the shimmer particles were a little bit more like finer, but you can't really see it as much. If you were to come really close to my face, maybe you can spot it, but right now with all of the products I have on my skin, it's just not looking that way. It's just beautiful. It has a subtle glow to it. It's a really nice blush, and also the contour is my favorite actually, even over the blush. You can probably skip on the blush if you didn't want to try it out, because there's one by the brand Daily Forever 52 which is very similar. I'm planning to try it out. I'm not sure if it's similar to this or like it's a matte blush wand, but I'm going to be trying it out really soon and letting you know if it's comparable to the Charlotte Tilbury blush wand. So if you wanted something like the Charlotte Tilbury one with a little bit of sheen and a blush, like a blush cum highlighter, you can try this out definitely. Now coming to the contour, I feel like it's a really nice product. It's very blendable. It has the right amount of like warmth as well as a little bit of shadow to your face. So it's a really nice product. You can try it out. It's very beautiful, and it does feel very high end, and of course, I mean, the price point is pretty high, so the performance is a little bit expected. Now coming to the Renee blush, it's nice. It's a pigmented blush, but I don't feel like it's very different from any of their other blushes that I've tried out. I expected it to have this, you know, glossy finish like the Huda Beauty Pretty Grunge one, which had the most beautiful glossy finish on your skin. So if you are looking at trying anything that has that beautiful glossy finish, you can try this out. I got this on a discount during the Nykaa sale and I don't regret it. It's a beautiful blush topper. It does have a little bit of a tint to it, but it might be not enough for a lot of people. So I think like a blush topper, it works a lot better, and you don't really have to use a highlighter because it adds that wet sheen. Wet, beautiful, balmy sheen, not a highlighter sheen, not something that is sparkly or shimmery, but a beautiful sheen. Then the liquid lipstick, this is what I mentioned, like eventually it kind of like fades away from the center and it leaves that line. So that happens to me with most lipstick formulation. It's not any different with this. It is long wearing, the liquid lipstick, when you're eating something and all of that, like it is long wearing, but eventually, like when you're eating something really greasy or slurping on something, it does fade away from the inner corner like that, and then all of the product is just still left on the outer corner because it is long wearing. So taking it off also would be a task. Like if you wanted to quickly fix it with maybe some wet wipes or something just outside, like with a wet tissue, it wouldn't work because it just adheres onto your lips. So just keep that in mind and prep accordingly. That's pretty much everything I wanted to talk to you guys about. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and found it helpful. Do let me know what other videos you'd like to watch, what other videos you want me to try out. Let me know in the comment section down below. And while you're at it, give this video a big thumbs up and also subscribe to my channel and hit that notification bell so that you're notified every time I upload a new video. And I'll see you guys in my next one.